Hello, welcome to yet another video with Jesse and Diana. This time, we are going to be sharing a few insights and lessons that we got over a video that we watched. This is something that Diana recommended, and I thought that it would be good for us to share our takeaways from this video because it was truly inspirational. Great, so Diana, tell us, how did you arrive at this movie for starters?
Okay, this movie came out in 2021. It's called King Richard. And I'd been wanting to watch it, and then this weekend I was like, I need to stop postponing because yesterday was a public holiday and I had time, so I sat down to watch it. Not yesterday, the day before.
Yes,
Friday.
2 days ago.
So King Richard is about Serena Williams and Venus Williams' dad. Just a story of how their journey from when they were kids and how they started out with playing tennis and that journey that they went on in learning to play the game and going professional
Great. So guys, this is a movie that we all need to watch. I sat down and watched it for 2.5 hours. It is something that will keep you glued. And we are going to be just sharing some of the things that we felt these are things that we need to take away and apply in our own lives. Let's start off with the lesson on vision. So this man, Richard, already he had a family of 3 girls?
Yeah, there were 3 girls.
Yeah, so he got this vision for his daughters playing tennis. And he decided that they were going to have 2 other girls so that they could begin with those even before they were born. So he conceived the idea that they would be tennis players right before the children were born.
And he even says that he wrote, he had that vision even before they were born. And I think for me that was one thing that was amazing, that he didn't wait for them to be born and see, what do they like and that kind of thing, and then come up to say, oh, okay, this is what my child should do. But that he had a vision for their life and he stuck to it. So even the thing about that vision is, it made me think of how us as parents, we need to ask God to give us a vision for our children, right from even before we conceive, before we conceive, when we conceive and we're carrying them, to when they are born, to keep asking God what His plan and purpose for this child is. Because surely if God could bring a child into existence, obviously He has a plan for them. So what is it? And to ask God what that vision that He has for that child is, and to run with it and just help that child to be able to achieve it, to be their mentor, to be their guide, because you're the one who knows, you're the adult, and so just to be there, to hold their hand through their childhood and just guard them. I like the way he really guarded and protected his children, so that nobody would take them off course from the vision that he had for them. That was amazing.
Very true. In fact, there were times when they would be interviewed. There was this particular reporter that was interviewing Venus. And he kept asking the same question. And he came and said, no, look, if she has already answered this question, the more you ask her, the more you cause her to doubt her own belief in herself. So if you have asked her once and she has given you the answer, why are you insisting? So protecting children, especially when the vision is clear.
And it was really amazing that they completely believed what their dad had told them. You could just see that they believed it 100%. There was no shadow of a doubt about where they were headed. They believed it totally. And you see, if you've been telling someone something from right when they were born, they don't know anything else. That's all they know.
And maybe thinking, how did he arrive at this vision for tennis? I think he got it from someone who was a champion, played and got how much?
He watched somebody who had played and got
$40,000 in 4 days. So he decided, wow, this is where the money is. So long before the children were born, the father decided that my daughters are going to play tennis. And he just put them in that line. So the second thing, so one is vision, but he goes an extra mile and puts this vision in writing. And he has a 78-page document on what this is going to look like.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, and I thought that was amazing as well. That he wrote a plan for their education, the languages they would speak, but you know, the whole thing, he had it all planned out. And I think that's part of where we go wrong.
Yes.
You have an idea, you have a great idea, and then you don't make a plan for it, and then you wonder how come it's not you know, coming to pass. Yeah, but it's because you never had a clear plan of how it was going to be executed. So he had such a clear plan of how this thing was going to work out, and I think that was another thing that was really amazing. You have to have a plan.
Very true.
You have to have a plan on what you're going to do. Take it out of your head, put it on paper. Yeah, and because even in writing out that plan, it makes you think, can this thing work out? You put this together, put that together, and then you have a clear plan. Because if it's all in your head, then when you start executing, it might not work out. But if you've written it down, then you have time to edit and, you know, to put different checkpoints to be able to see if this plan is actually possible.
And of course, he has this plan, so he goes around looking for coaches, and no one is coming on. You know, I remember one man telling him, if I was to get $1 for every parent that thinks that their child can play tennis, I would be a millionaire. Because there are so many people that would come saying, my daughters should want to play tennis, you know, and they just refuse. They are going to be champions.
There's one also who said, why don't you try basketball? But that was not his plan.
That was not the plan. The plan was tennis. True. So he has a vision. Do you have a vision for yourself? Do you have a vision for your children? The second thing is he puts this plan on paper and he makes it so detailed and so compelling that he believes it, and even the daughters believe it. Now, the testing point for me in this story is when the girls are doing so well and he wants them to go pro at a certain point in their life. But again, he does not want them to play junior tennis. Why? Because most of the people that were getting into tennis at the tender age or when they played in the junior championships, they would go into depression, go on drugs, and he really felt like they should be children. And so many people kept insisting that they cannot go pro, they cannot become professional if they have not played juniors. And that's where the drama starts. But the guy stuck to his plan. And that's amazing also. You know, because obstacles will definitely come. But are you able to stick to the plan that you originally came up with? To be able to say that I know this plan will work. I have thought it through and I know that it will work. And not to be taken off course because of obstacles and pressure and what, but to say I will stick to my plan. So, you know, that's another thing that we need to remember. And sometimes when obstacles come, then we think, maybe I'm not sure, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. But I think sometimes when you've thought something through well, then you're able to keep on even when there are obstacles. Very true. Great. So the movie is largely about his mentorship to Venus. And Serena was, you know, she didn't take this badly, but you could see that the spotlight was on her sister. So at some point, he comes and tells Serena and says, look, Venus is going to be number one, but you in the world, but you are going to be the greatest of all time. And that comes to pass. You know, it's amazing the words that we speak to our children. It's just amazing that everything that this man speaks over his children literally came to pass. This also made me question something. It's easy to think that the Williams sisters are talented, inborn, naturally talented at tennis. But this was not their choice. Their father decided. Where do you draw the line between talent and persistently pursuing something, even if you're not talented about it? Where do you draw that line?
I think for me what came out clear is that anything can be learned. If you decide that you're going to learn something and you put your wholehearted passion into it, you can become really good at it.
Very sure.
So it's sometimes we think, I'm not cut out for something. But like for example, I didn't think I could ever be an entrepreneur. I thought that's not in our family, that's not in my blood, like where will I even start from? But it's something that I have learned over time. So things can be learned. And sometimes we limit ourselves because we think, that's not my talent, that's not my area. But you would be surprised that if you just put your heart into learning something, you can actually be good at it.
Absolutely.
Because how is it that he decided that they would be good at tennis?
Yes.
Two children in the family would be good at tennis before they were born.
True.
Yeah.
And they became world champions.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, and I think that speaks into the point on perseverance and hard work.
Yeah.
That yes, the plan is out there, the vision is clear, but there is effort that has to go into this. Yeah.
Yeah, and they really worked hard.
Absolutely.
They worked hard, he worked hard.
Yes. The mom worked hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, seeing how he would have a day job, then they go for training in the evening,
True.
and then he had a night job, and then they were studying,
Yes.
and then they would have training in the evening. That was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So to see that hard work always pays off.
Yeah.
It always pays off. And I think sometimes we are too lenient with ourselves, too soft on ourselves. Like where we could work a few extra hours, we decide, I'm going to relax. Yet that hard work pays off. But even his perseverance, that he would go to all these different people and try to pitch to them, and they would refuse. And okay, fine, this one has refused. He crosses him off the list and goes to the next one. That is perseverance, because you would easily give up. And honestly, who was he even to start going to those people? He was just reading about them in magazines. He didn't know them. Like, he had no reason to think that they would take him on. But he just took a chance, and eventually it paid off.
True.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of the movie, he said something quite captivating. He said, I'm in the business of raising champions.
Yeah.
Wow. So think about it. If you're going to raise a champion in your house, if you're going to raise a champion on your team, if you're going to become a champion yourself, it takes one to have a vision, a clear plan, written down, clear and succinct, and then follow it with unwavering pursuit and determination. And success does not come on a silver platter. This guy worked so hard. There were times he was disappointed. There were times he felt like a fool. I mean, there was a point when there was a deal where Venus could have signed for $3 million, but they did not take it. They did not take it. And the coach just looked at them and wondered, are you guys possessed? What's your problem? Yeah. But cut the long story short, a few years later, she signs a deal with Reebok of $12 million. Yeah. So that was King Richard. I hope you find that movie, watch it. I think the one thing that keeps running through this movie is that if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Yeah.
And I think for me, one of the other things that I really saw is, if you believe you can, you can. Yeah. If you believe it, you can do it.
Very true. There were times when they would ask Venus, so do you think you can beat this opponent? She says, I know. So while the question was, do you think you can? She would say, I know. It was not about thinking I can. It was about a deep assurance that I know that I can.
Yeah.
Wow. Great. So thank you for watching. I hope that inspires you to go and watch that movie. Find it. It will be worth your time. King Richard, raising champions. Become a champion yourself and raise one on your team, in your family, in your business. We are in the business of raising champions. Thank you for watching. It's been Jesse and Diana Aindaviona. And subscribe to this YouTube channel to continually get inspiring, empowering, and uplifting videos to inspire you to become a better version of yourself. Thank you and bye for now.